In a society influenced by capitalism and obsessed with productivity, it's strange to think about leisure as a key part of people's identities. People might not think much about the media that they enjoy or how often they interact with other fans and fan works through media, but fanships can be central to identity and community. Research is scattered among a few different fields, and most is done by fans and market researchers. Research mostly seems to be tackling very specific communities or examining the media that a fandom is focused on rather than the people themselves. So I know that switching fields and topics can be hard. So I have some definitions for some jargon that I just used and will be using. Um, Fandom is a community surrounding a particular piece or group of media, a content creator, or an activity. This can also be called a leisure community or a leisure subculture. Fanship relates more to a specific person's level of dedication and engagement. And the serious leisure perspective was outlined by Stebbins and has been more important in leisure studies. Um, his theory sorts people by their level of dedication and sorts leisure activities by how people can engage with them. Imagined identity is how people perceive themselves and construct their personas over time. Fan works emulate and expand on media. And ethnography, coined by Kozinets, is a form of online ethnography. It's particularly helpful when studying social media and the like, where fans often interact. So now for a quick dive into some key correlations and labels for fandom over here on the left of the poster. Um, Fandom is serious leisure, and higher levels of community participation and the nature of fan works fit many of the criteria of serious leisure. I think that this framework can really show how dedicated people are to these fandoms and how heavily it impacts their identity. Some people even have serious leisure careers in fandom. And as they switch fandoms throughout the years, you can see that some of these experiences from past fandoms stick with them and they retain these skills in various fields. Um, Fandom is community, and people support each other and make friends online and offline. Participation can be more complicated and expensive, such as going to conventions or cosplaying. And it can be even as basic as having a conversation about the media that you enjoy with a friend. Participation is not always positive due to gatekeeping and stigma based on how people enact fandom, especially given some more problematic uh, enactments or things deemed strange. And most targets seem to be people who celebrate fandom and perform it in more public spaces on or offline. Fandom is part of people's identities, though, and it can provide structure and values. As a member of some of these communities, I've seen the impact on many people as well as myself. People can find who they are and who they want to be. And these online spaces and the media that we consume can deeply impact who we are as a person. Fandom is a collection of cultures where people can bring their own traditions, observe cultures of fictional peoples and worlds, observe the cultures of content creators, and even construct their own. One example would be Star Trek fans following Klingon traditions and building up that culture throughout the years. Or an example on specific content creators would be Nerdfighteria, the fans of Hank and John Green, who have the signature phrase of "Don't forget to be awesome." They host many projects involving social activism and charity work. And so do many different fandoms. They host different charity drives. Um, Fandom is really important, especially for those who place less importance on career and social class, and spend more time online and engaged with media. Even to those who don't actively participate in fandom, there may be some impact on their lives. The power of fandom is the same as any other community, with organization and cooperation enabling people to change the societies around them, both real and fictional. My methods to continue this research will be to use the serious leisure perspective, as mentioned, for a more in-depth study on online fan communities. I'll be using netnography, online interviews, and surveys, and I want to especially focus on young adults and minorities in more modern fandoms. I hope research can help to negate some of the stigma built around fandoms and their participants, as well as to help people think more about their own identities and how multifaceted they can be. I'd like to thank the people that made this presentation possible, mainly my mentor for URAP, Caitlin Brooks, the Department of Anthropology at UIUC, and many others. Have a good day.